So you get back to your book real quick. You institute the Chosin Reservoir, the frozen Chosin. This is one of the most brutal moments in American military history. Not just because you're completely surrounded, but also because it's around 40 below zero. You're near the Yalu River, and all of a sudden the Chinese come through. Your father fought in that battle, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and so did this sort of personalize this book in a way that hadn't been personalized with any of your other works?
Only, well, there's two answers to that. Only at the end, because I wasn't sure where I was going to use his story. And since I had opened with a very short preface about my own family's history, I ended with it. Uh, so clearly that's an homage to him. But I've written my novel and All the Saints, which won the 2004 American Book Award for fiction, is the first person autobiography, so to speak, of a famous Irish gangster named Oni Madden, who, among other things, Cotton Club and was the number one beer brewer in Manhattan and produced Mae West shows on Broadway. He was the image of the Cagney, well dressed, good looking gangster. And I dedicated that book to not only my dad but his dad and his dad. So there were three generations of Walshes, uh, one of whom was born in Ireland, where I live today part time, on the spot where my great grandmother was born, in fact, and the other were the other male ancestors. So I think his spirit has informed a lot of my work. Now I left home when I was 17, so and never went back. So I had a relatively short exposure to him, especially since he was away, not only in Korea, but in Vietnam as well.
Hey, history lovers. Dustin Bass here, and I've started a new history podcast called American Tells, where we explore the world through American history. New episodes come out every Monday and can be found wherever you listen, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. I hope you tune in and subscribe to my new podcast that presents all things pre 21st century American history through dramatic narratives, narrated by yours truly. And each episode comes standard with sound effects, awesome music, and my amazing accents, both foreign and domestic. Subscribe to American Tales with Dustin Bass today and join me as we explore the world through American history.
But it's very hard to live with a kind of living legend, and I've tried to do him homage in several works.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, and it's great that you did write about it because I personally have a soft spot for the Korean War, and it's one of those things where it's considered the forgotten war, and I think the more uh, good writing is done about the war, I think the more people will understand uh, how rough of a war it was, but also how important of a war it was, and how many firsts were involved in that war.